All right, we are following some breaking news now. Wrestling legend Hulk Hogan has died. His manager told NBC Los Angeles that Hogan died surrounded by his family in Clearwater, Florida this morning. He was 71 years old.
Hogan, whose real name was Terry Gene Bollea.
Okay, so y'all remember I put a video up a little while ago basically saying that, you know, R.I.P. Hulk Hogan, prayers out to his family, his daughters, his son, and various people who know and loved Hulk Hogan that actually appreciated him. He was an icon. He was this, he was that. And remember, I kept saying during the video that my personal feelings aside, that wasn't the complete video. I wanted to go more into it, but I just couldn't at the moment. But I got a little more to it than that. My personal feelings not aside, Hulk Hogan was the biggest piece of shit to walk between two shoes. Point blank, period. That man was not... He turned out to be the worst of what meeting your heroes is like. Hulk Hogan made a lot of people very angry with his statements. And it wasn't the first time he's made very questionable statements. He's done some questionable things. He's basically showed us who he really was. And that's why a lot of black people are mad. Because, not mad, but that's why a lot of black people don't have any sympathy for Hulk Hogan passing. Because he made statements, for those that don't know, Hulk Hogan made statements on a recorded phone conversation when he slept with his best friend, Bubba the Love Sponge's wife. It's all on the internet. There's no alleged. It's all there. He even admitted it. But he let Bubba the Love Sponge do things with his wife, and then in the midst of that, they were having conversations, and he was on recordings talking about various topics, and a lot of racist rhetoric was uttered. Then he was on a recorded phone conversation, and he was recorded telling some producer about something about Brooke dating some black guy, and he dropped the N-bomb several times, which caused him to lose his spot in WWE at the time. They were paying him pretty heavy on a Legends contract, and they basically took the contract and said, no, screw you, you're not going to get paid. So then he gets into various incidences, and then, before all of this happened was the Nick Hogan fiasco. The Nick Hogan fiasco. Nick Hogan, his son, decides he wants to take his heavily modded sports car that he had in some sponsorship with some sponsor that paid them for him to wreck their cars. Anyway, he was alright, but then he decided to go street racing illegally and crash the car. Here's the kicker. His friend, his alleged best friend at the time, Nick Graziano, was in the car. Car tears everybody, well, almost limb from limb. Nick walks away. The passenger in the car, who was a veteran at the time, he was serving, I think, either in the Navy or the National Guard or something, or Marines, I ain't sure, but he ends up being in the car, and when the car crashes, it gives him permanent brain damage. He's never going to be the same again. So, again, in another incident, on one of the jail phone calls, Hulk Hogan decides, I'm going to try to leverage this with, and he mentioned their other collaborator who's usually in the shadows, Herbie, I forget his name. Jason Hervey, that's his name. So he starts mentioning James Hervey, go through Jason, go through Eric, go through this guy, that guy, that guy. They're talking about Brooke's career and this, that, and the third. And now that I think of it on a side note, I wonder if Brooke kind of had a hint that something was coming with Hulk when she distanced herself from them and decided she didn't want to be around that toxicity anymore. But yeah, Hogan is on the call basically talking about Brooke's career and how they can actually profit from this tragedy that befell Nick Graziano and the Hulk and the Bollea family. He gets charged with drunk driving, reckless driving, street racing, etc., etc. Actually, I'm not even sure if he was drunk. I think it was mainly just a street racing thing, but I can't recall. But yeah, Hulk Hogan has done some stupid things. And it's over and over and over again. And he wonders why people don't like him. And then you go, well, I'm not even going to bring up the whole Trump thing, but yeah, it's crazy that Hogan could be such a piece of shit, but yet beloved by an entire wrestling community. Because if it were, this is the one instance where you can somewhat separate the two, because there were two versions of Hulk Hogan. The American hero version, and then the piece of shit version that we ended up with later on. Yes, he was revolutionary. Yes, he was the biggest thing to hit the wrestling business since Andre. Yes, he was everyone's hero. Yes, he was the guy. Yes, he was our champion. And then he hit the NWO gimmick, and he became even bigger than what he was. Honestly, I think when he was Hulk. When he was Hollywood Hogan, he hit another gear, and his career went into the stratosphere. But Hogan, okay, maybe I might have been stretching it with that one, but Hogan was the guy. Undoubtedly, he was the main attraction after Andre left the scene. He became the guy in the WWF. And he wore the strap. But the person behind the man, the person Terry Bollea later on became the most vile, corruptible human to ever walk the face of this earth. Yes, we felt sorry for him when he almost, did the unthinkable. But we can't condone the things that he's done. So, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for this to be a long post, but yeah, I'm sorry. I just can't. I can't. Hulk Hogan was a racist piece of shit. I celebrate the man's accomplishments in the ring. I celebrate the man and his aura and his status. Definitely one of the greatest of all time. Mount Rushmore, all the accolades, but he was still a piece of shit. Sorry.